Hi, and welcome to the Trico maintenance room, where today we'll be going through the installation of the Trico closed system Opto-Matic oiler on our Gould's MTX pump. Now we've selected the hot setup kit from Trico, which includes all of these parts that you see here on the table, everything you need for the installation of this system. Now we've selected the closed system kit from Trico for a few different reasons. In this case, we're looking for enhanced bearing protection. But if you have an application where you're running into pressure or vacuum problems, closed system also addresses that. Now before we get started with the installation of the oiler, there's a few things we want to take note of. The first is the shaft rotation of the pump, and that's notated here on the pump casing by an arrow. We want to make sure that as the bearing swells through the oil, the swell of oil is coming towards the oiler. So in this case, our shaft rotation is going clockwise, and we want to be on this side of the pump in which the oil is swelling towards. The next is that actual oil level that's desired inside of the bearing housing. Now the proper level for bath lubrication of a bearing is halfway up the lowest ball. And we've indicated that on the outside of our pump casing by this white line. Now we've pre-installed some of the fittings here for our application on this MTX to get us into the working range of the oiler, notated here between the screws on the level indicator. We've selected an elbow, and we're going to mount into the bottom fluid port as opposed to the rear fluid port for this specific installation. Now we're going to seal the rear fluid port with the provided plug, and then install the elbow for the pressure balancing line using the provided thread sealant. Now to begin the installation of our oiler onto the pump, we're going to start by loosening the set screw on the back of the upper reservoir assembly, separating that from the lower casting and setting it aside. Then we want to take some of our hydraulic thread sealant and apply it to those threads on the pump, and then thread on our lower casting until it's hand tight. Then we'll finish tightening with a pipe wrench until the sight gauge is facing forward. Now because we've chosen the installation kit from Trico, our oiler has come with these fittings in which we've pre-installed. One of those is a JIC fitting that connects to the also included stainless steel braided line. Let's take a look at the installation of that. We'll start by connecting it to the JIC fitting up on the breather assembly and connect the other end to the elbow that we previously installed on the back of the oiler. Next, we'll install our Desiccant breather, starting by removing the red cap from the bottom and threading it onto the nipple up on the breather fitting. Once that's tight, remove the rubber band covering the check valves. So next we're going to set our lower collar assembly to the desired oil level. Now I'm going to use a level here and butt that up against the bottom of the collar and get it directly to the desired level on the pump housing, and then adjust the Allen head screws to tighten that collar into position. That's going to set the proper oil level inside of the oiler. Next, we're going to start the initial fill of our bearing housing, and we're going to use a Spectrum container here to fill through the lower casting of the Opto-Matic, and we're going to do that until we begin to see pooling in the bottom of the lower casting. Now to finalize our installation, we're going to fill the upper reservoir assembly with oil. We want to make sure not to fill it more than 2/3 full to prevent any kind of vapor lock once it's installed. Finally, we'll take our upper reservoir assembly and tip it onto the lower casting, seating down the upper assembly against that collar and tightening the set screw on the back. That concludes our installation of the Trico Opto-Matic closed system on our Gould's MTX pump. If you got any questions, reach out to us. Thanks for watching.